All right, let's bring in now David Teferi. He worked at the State Department during the Obama and George W. Bush administrations. David, thank you so much for your time. Is this warrant, let's start with that, is the warrant all symbolic? I mean, is there any scenario where Putin sees the inside of a courtroom related to this?
This is very important that the ICC indicted Putin. I predicted right after the invasion that he would be indicted for war crimes. I actually think the International Criminal Court should have done this more quickly, but it took its time, but it did make the right decision in indicting him. They indicted him for some war crimes. I expect there could be more indictments against him. As your reporter correctly pointed out, he cannot be tried for those crimes unless he is apprehended and brought to The Hague to stand trial. That is unlikely right now, but you never know what might happen in the future. He's not going to be extradited from his own country, Russia, but if he were to travel somewhere, especially if he were to travel to a country that is a member of the Rome Statute that set up the International Criminal Court, he could be arrested there. And that could apply even if he's no longer president if he travels. So this restricts his ability to travel, although he already wasn't doing much international travel. More importantly, it's the reputational damage it does to him. Being indicted as a war criminal is baggage that you will carry around for the rest of your life. It was appropriate that he has been named as such, and he will never get rid of that reputation.
David, let's talk about this upcoming meeting between Xi and Putin. How big of a deal is it that Xi is making this trip to Moscow now, appears to be interested in really taking a much more hands-on role in this war against Ukraine?
As the U.S. and NATO have stepped up and supplied Ukraine, which has helped Ukraine be successful in its war against Russia, China has been the wild card because as Russia suffers economically and Russia strives to resupply its beleaguered military, it needs help from other countries. It relies on small, weak countries like Iran, for instance, right now. So it desperately wants the help of China. And what China decides to do will have an enormous impact on the battle in Ukraine. For now, China has not provided lethal weapons as far as we know. So let's look for what happens in these meetings in Moscow and whether China makes any commitment to provide more support to Russia. I doubt China will do that, although I expect President Xi's rhetoric with Putin, especially if there's a joint appearance, will be supportive of Russia. But I think China probably still wants to stay on the sidelines and doesn't want to commit to a war that Russia is losing.
All right, so David, you bring up such a good point there. So we know Russia wants China's help, right? What kind of dynamic do you expect between these two men, seeing that, she really does have the ability to turn the tide of this war in favor of Russia? Do you think she is going to try to make some demands of Putin?
He might. I'm not sure Putin is willing to accept any demands, even though he desperately needs and wants China's support. Look, the two men have a couple things in common. One of them is a fear of the West, a hatred for democracy, embarrassment over the human rights violations in both of their countries. And that unites them in a way in taking, joint opposition against the West. But China wants to also be careful. It doesn't want to, damage further its ties with the West. It relies on, economic ties with the U.S. and European countries. It exports lots of goods to those countries. So it would hurt its economy if it further deteriorated its relations with the West. So there's a balancing act here for President Xi.
All right, David Teferi, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.